slammed for defamation, right? And the jury found, the finder of fact found that she was, in fact, defaming him. And now she's gone and done it again. Nikki, what are we talking about today?
Pretty much everything that's going on post-trial. Interviews, what's going on, going back in, all of that fun stuff.
So in any case, let's get right into it. Elaine was the first one to chomp at the bit. Everybody might remember our friend Elaine from the trial. She's chipper and ready and raring to go. This is going to be fun.
Elaine Charleston Bredehoft is the attorney for Amber Heard. This seems to be a huge victory for Johnny Depp this morning.
A major setback for women, for women inside the courtroom and outside the court.
Because
Basically what this said, Amber had an enormous amount of evidence, although a lot of it was suppressed in this case as opposed to the UK. But look at all the women who have no evidence, all these women who suffer from domestic violence, domestic abuse. They don't have evidence. And basically what this jury said is unless you pull out your cell phone and you tape record your spouse beating you, you're out of luck.
But Elaine,
I gotta, wow. There's a lot to unpack in that.
I definitely feel like that is definitely a tactic with her words, but that is not in any way, shape, or form what they are saying. They are essentially telling you that you don't need to do it in the middle of it, but maybe afterwards, if you had some proof, don't fake it.
You can't have a claim and not have evidence. We know this, and we've gone through years of it. And she said there's a mountain of evidence from the UK trial. Come to find out, the UK trial, that wasn't necessary. She didn't have the burden of proof in the UK trial. She didn't have any of that. And the mountain of evidence that she's talking about, I found out after doing some digging, was her recollection and notes given to her therapist as medical records. Did you know that?
I didn't know that was what they were referring to.
Yeah. So it's her speaking her story to this professional and then submitting that as medical records. But the court, rightly so, I would imagine, is saying, no, that's hearsay. You can't admit that into court.
And I do know, I think she still did not turn in her phone. Be able to tell where those photos came from and if they were edited or not, if she did hand over her phone.
Which was crazy.
Very different.
And I love how Elaine's like, it's a setback for all women. They try to pull the America card every time, like freedom of speech and a setback for all women who've been domestically abused. And yet it's overwhelming that most women are like, hey, we can tell you're lying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but
why do you think they did not believe her?
I think that a lot of that was that it was Johnny Depp. I think the celebrity status,
But she's a celebrity too. But she's a celebrity too.
Right.
But you have to remember, it's a tale of two trials. All the evidence came in the UK. Mr. Depp brought that one. The burden of
that's not true.
was on the son in the UK.
Right.
They had called him a wife beater and talked about domestic violence. He had his opportunity to tell the truth then. And a 3-week trial, he lost. The judge found 12 acts of domestic violence, including sexual violence. And that came out November 2, 2020. We weren't allowed to tell the jury that.
Well, it's a different system, and the judge.
Oh, but she's allowed to tell them now. She's allowed to tell the world now. Is she allowed to do this?
They could. I remember we were watching the one lawyer that we usually do watch, and she said that they could technically sue her for defamation.
Another
again.
defamation. Jeez Louise. It's like they just don't care. They're throwing caution to the wind. Here's the thing with the UK trial, the burden of proof, yes, was on the son and it was Johnny Depp who had to defend himself against those accusations. However, a lot of evidence was not admissible. The UK rules are totally different from the United States rules. He was not able to put and provide a lot of the evidence because it had to do with Amber. And you'll see in the Amber Heard interview, it's such a huge thing with her saying that she donated 7 million because the whole point, or at least one of the biggest weighing points, was that she wasn't a gold digger. So that's why they felt she was credible. She's saying, well, look, I got this divorce settlement and I promised I'd give it to charity because money doesn't mean anything to me. I don't want it for the money. That's not the point of this. Turns out she only paid 950,000. 500,000 was paid by Elon Musk. So that plus I think 250,000 for the children's hospital. So she paid a little bit over 1 million and kept the other 6 million.
So here we had, not only did we have a group of Depp fans that were there every day, 100 were allowed in. They lined up at 1 o'clock in the morning for their wristbands to be in that courtroom. But we had everything on camera, and we had tremendous social media that was very, very, very much against Amber.
It was pointed out that that was the first time that a victim of sexual abuse had to testify on live television.
And I fought hard and lost that battle.
So she fought hard, she lost it. Social media, Nikki, what are your thoughts on that? She's saying that social media played a huge influence on it.
I feel like even if you want to, well, let's just go out into this make-believe world where the jury did look at it when they looked at social media and they saw everything going on. If she was undoubtedly telling the truth, why would that be such a big problem then, is my question. So if she was wholeheartedly telling the truth and social media is showing you everything, including the evidence that's given, including past situations, why are we saying that she lost because of the social media? Because most of the social media noticed, hey, she's not telling the truth. This is really uncomfortable. That's a problem on them. But let's say she was telling the truth. If she was wholeheartedly telling the truth, social media would be split. Which
Right. It would be
was not.
even. There would be half of the people defending her and half of the people defending him. And it would be still kind of balanced with them hating him and them hating her. And that is not the case. You're seeing less than 10% are still on her side. Lord knows why. And 90% are saying, hey, your testimony, your two depositions, all 6 years apart, they don't match. None of the testimony with your friends, family, nobody saw him hit you, except there is video and audio evidence of you hitting him.
Do you feel like you guys made any mistakes along the way? Do you feel like Amber made a mistake?
Her jaw dropped.
You were saying it's the celebrity, it's Johnny, it's the people who support him. But what about you and your team?
Damn.
Well, and that's an excellent question. And to say, and you know, Amber even said on the stand, I am not perfect. I am a human being. These people were giving her death threats. They threatened to microwave her baby.
Okay. That's first of all, that's hearsay. I can say that now. And second of all, that was after the entire trial was done. That was not during the trial. The thing we have here is, yes, the video was on you. She's complaining basically. Well, there's videotape on us. Amber's not perfect, but she painted herself as perfect. In the trial, she did not take accountability for anything. She could have, and you know, a couple of news anchors made it pretty clear, like, you know, if she would have just been honest and said, kind of like how JD was saying, hey, yeah, I did drugs, I did alcohol, but I never hit her, not once. I was abusing myself, not her. And she could have said, hey, I've done, you know, XYZ drugs, and I've done I have a little bit of a drinking problem, and I might have given it to TMZ because I thought that he was going to use it against me. You know, like small things like that. That would have made her more believable. But she just vehemently was like, oh, I've never touched the stuff. I never did drugs. And then slowly unraveled through 6 weeks because, you know, you can only keep it up for so long. It contradicts.
It heavily contradicted.
The
There
whole
was a
time.
lot of things that she would say in the beginning and then completely say the opposite in the end, that I was like, I don't understand how you take yourself seriously with this right now.
Amber Heard had defamed him in a 2018 Washington Post op-ed.
Miss Heard lies. He lies all the time.
Heard's team has alleged a coordinated social media campaign by Depp's side, turning public opinion and ultimately the jury.
Hang on, I have to pause that. She's saying his team did it.
Yeah. saying that they
Millions.
paid for people. I mean, I would like to say and go on the record that we were not paid.
We were not.
unfortunately.
No. Now, what spurred and triggered us to do it is because we've been in these positions. We identified and resonated with JD and understood what he was going through and felt that empathy from him. We did not, both of us did not feel anything from her. Not one
Which
thing.
is
And I think,
hard because I'm such a sympathetic crier. Even if I was reading,
right.
I am such a sympathetic crier. But when she was talking, I literally felt
Felt
nothing,
nothing.
which is so weird for me because, I mean, even happy moments, I'm a sympathetic crier.
But I think most of America felt the same. Actually, most of the world felt the same. And it's when you have that many people tapping into their empathy and their compassion, I think I would like to say more than 40% of people when this trial started was going to give her a fair shake. They hadn't made up their mind. I even want to go as far as maybe perhaps 50%. Because there's a lot of comments that are like, hey, listen, I was kind of on her side from the get-go, and then I watched the cameras unfold, and it just wasn't believable. None of it.
And joining us now are Johnny Depp's lawyers, Camille Vasquez and Benjamin Chu. And let me ask you, did you speak to your client right after the verdict? What was his reaction in the moment?
I think just an overwhelming sense of relief.
The law does not favor a plaintiff like Johnny Depp. In a defamation case like this, the burden is very high, the
Yeah.
threshold is high, and you crossed it. Frankly speaking, were you stunned at this victory? Ben?
Well, we had ultimate confidence in Johnny and the jury and the facts of this case, and you can only hope that the jury will see it. And in this case, they did, and the verdict was overwhelmingly in his favor.
I should mention the jury did find Mr. Depp responsible for defamation for one of the statements made by his lawyer. It accused her essentially of staging a scene in furtherance of an abuse hoax. How do you square that finding with the rest of the verdict?
I think it's just the verdict is overwhelmingly positive for John. And it was unanimous. There were 7 people that decided he was defamed.
Amber?
What a difference. They don't name call. They're not sitting there pointing fingers, this place, that place, the other place. It's organized. It's always organized with them. And they do such a good job of being professional.
Let's say it did go the other way. I don't feel like this team would take it to the extent that it has been taken.
Let's take it to the
Yeah.
extent that it's been taken. Nikki, you ready for Amber's?
Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be fun.